which is being stuck in the loop. Kind of being able to break that cycle of brokenness or depression or bad luck or just whatever that is for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we all once you kind of put your all into something, like even in relationships, it's like once you put your all into something, it's hard to let it go.
You are now listening to the thoughts and sounds of IC the God King. This is the IC Experience.
Oh, you blacked out, huh? That's how you were feeling today, huh?
Yeah, you know how to switch it up.
Like a gangster. You're like a freaking gangster, bro.
You know, it's funny because now when we do this, I'll be like having to go in my closet to really
see what's up in there.
What am I wear today?
Right.
What have I worn already? You know what I'm saying?
So give them a fresh look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to go in there. I had to go in the mall, man, to dig something up out of it up, man.
Yeah. So you got to do what it takes.
Right. To do what it takes to make what it makes, man.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's important.
So
it's important that we stay fly.
Do you remember what? I know you said you had some other topics that you wanted to talk about.
No, I had them in my phone, and we shooting off the phone, so I can't really. Yeah.
Well, one of the topics that we spoke about during the week was the situation going on with Dame Dash, and I'm gonna put the video on this.
You ever enjoy being a slave? It's not a slave. This is what I enjoy. I don't think it's a slavery, Dave. Do you have to come to work today? Do you have a choice? Do you have to ask somebody when you have to? Yes, you do. I don't. Or you're fired. Can somebody tell you you're fired? I don't. Can somebody tell you you're fired? Yes or no? Can another man say you're fired? Absolutely. No one can tell me that. Somebody asked me how I got so broke. Investing in my dreams. You know, when you're investing in your dreams and you dream big, you're always gonna be broke.
But basically, it showed like him a couple of years ago saying how he's an entrepreneur and everybody else they work for somebody, they're slaves, and kind of talking down on individuals who have a 9-to-5. And then fast forward to now that it's showing that his financial situation, it appears like it's not as good as where it need to be or should be, or there's a lot of stories coming out about financial struggles going on with them. And it had me thinking, as individuals trying to pursue their dream, their goal, a relationship, when do you say enough is enough? When do you say when is when? And that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. Like, how do you know, like, when to let go of something or when to stop trying to chase a dream?
I mean, I think for everybody, bro, that answer is different.
Yeah.
You know, for everybody, you ask everybody, it's like, what's your threshold for pain? What's your threshold for going into the unknown? For me, it's like when it doesn't excite me anymore. When maybe I start to feel resentment towards it, then it's like I know at that point it's time to it's time to get into something else, because getting up every day and working on something that your heart is not in, to me, that's the sign. You know, I don't know. I couldn't, like, if you asked me before we go into something, it's like, hey, bro, when you gonna tap out?
Right.
You know, when it's gonna be too far? And I could probably give you some idea of that.
Right.
You know, but I wouldn't actually know until I'm in it. You know,
right.
And I know at that point I won't want to go
anymore. Yeah, but with that being said, do you think there'll be like a situation where you kind of in too deep? Like, let's say you got all your investments in there now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Do you just drop everything you're doing, or do you just like try to find a way out of it? Or,
I mean, of course you want to try to find a way out of it.
Right.
You know, because most problems have a solution.
Right.
To them. So yeah, of course you want to try to find a way out of it. But at the same time, if you know, if you got to take some losses with that, that's just part of it.
Right.
You know, most successful people didn't just everything they tried was successful. They just kept trying so much stuff, and then eventually something hit.
Right.
You know, but which to me is a better alternative than just like, oh, okay, well let me just get up, go to work every day, and keep not making enough money. Like,
Right.
you know, it's like, okay, yeah, try it. Yeah, you know, you want to try to, you have to do something else to, and that kind of goes into what I want to talk about next. But yeah, yeah,
You know, it's interesting. Like the cliche thing that I remember seeing growing up would be like people trying to be rappers when it's like, come on, bro, like you got gray hair in your beard now, you know.
right.
And but then when you say stuff like that, it's kind of like somebody could take it as if, man, why you hating on his dreams? Let people chase their dreams, you know. But then at the other hand, it's like, man, what are you doing? You know. So it's kind of like, is there an age limit, do you think, that's associated with whatever your dream or passion is limited to, or that you're trying to do?
No, I'll address the older rap guys rapping, right? Because to me, I don't see an issue with the older rap guy rapping, but it's like, what are you saying? You know, and how are you? What's your angle? Is it like, are you presenting? Are you presenting your music in a way that's creative and
Right.
like up to date with what's going on and how people are consuming music?
Yeah.
Or are you still kind of going off of this old BET hip hop uncut legacy model, you know,
Right.
of like, oh, I'm gonna make a song and then make a video and put it out, and then, you know, people will like it and it'll blow up. And
Right.
it's just like, nah, that's where I see the disconnection in like older rappers rapping. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, this, because there's nothing wrong with that. Like, see, the crazy thing is like with all of this stuff, there's value in the music. It's not like there's no value there. There is value there, but it's like you have to market it and present it in a way that, you know, adds value to the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, but it sounds like you're saying it from an established rapper standpoint. What if it's like somebody who hasn't, that's only like limited to like maybe a neighborhood or family members?
Like I said, see, I think I know the turn off for me, right? And this may be the same thing for you, is like when you see an older dude, he's rapping and his content, what he's talking about is like you spinning the block, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If like sometimes I listen to somebody like what's the guy with Jay Electronica?
Yeah.
You know, it's like higher elevation rap. You know, you listen to Nas, that's the kind of rap I think that I would like to hear from an older person, something that's just more thoughtful.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to hear nothing that these young kids are talking about from no 40-year-old man, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. So you're making the music like the young kids, and then you trying to promote it like the old way. And yeah, it's just all. Yeah.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I do think that you know, somebody who's older and wants to, you know, be a rapper or whatever, yeah, I do think you can pursue that, but just make it make sense. You know, it's like a way to do it. We don't see it a lot, you know, almost never basically, but it is a way to do it.
Right. Yeah. Right. Because, you know, sometimes like when I think about different friends of mine that did different endeavors, you know, like even myself, like I started out doing video production I started in high school, and then I went into college and I kept it going. And then I was doing these projects, and the excitement, the chase of it was fulfilling. And then when I moved to Atlanta, I was like, okay, I'm in the big leagues now. I'm going to start doing things. And after a while, I start running into the same issue, you know, people not appreciate my value, you know, my price, especially within the black community, people would be trying to lowball me and say, hey, I know your price is this, but, you know, try to haggle me.
Right.
You know, but they just think that I'm just out there filming, but they're not thinking about me coming back to edit it and all the time I'm taking out my day to make their product look good, you know. And I had a passion and love for it. I was doing stuff for free for a while too. But then there was a point of diminishing return, like when I started getting older, and I was like, man, I want to have a family. I want to start, you know, having a foundation.
Right.
And then, you know, I was just like, man, what? I had to let it go. And the technology kept getting better. So somebody could just come with a, you know, a camera they just bought off of Amazon, and it's shooting 4K. And you know, I'm like, my price is my price, and his price is lowball because he's trying to get into the game. And I had to sit back and just say, you know, all this time done went by, you know, my energy, you know, I'm not really making that much money where I can support myself on it, you know. And I had a full-time job, and it was kind of like a side job. But there was a point where I was like you said, the love of it started to dwindle, you know. And I just made a decision. I was like, something within me was just like, hey man, it's time to hang this up, man. You've been doing this a long time. You know, you did all you could do in this space. And I ended up selling all my equipment and buying this pinky ring. So when I bought this pinky ring, it was this one right here. Okay. Yeah, this was my first big piece of jewelry I bought. And I bought it for like as a token of like time, effort. This is supposed to be like my championship ring for everything that I've done. Right. You know, so I didn't just it was symbolic for me. Right. But I did it for like
everything culminated into the ring.
Exactly.
Right.
So and that's what I did. And it was like I did it maybe for like 15 years. Then after a while, you know, I just realized, man, it was the energy that I was spending in it, and the return didn't match what I wanted it to be, you know.
Right.
So, but what was the other topic that you want to talk
about? So that kind of goes into the next topic that I want to talk about, which is being stuck in the loop. You know, and kind of being able to break that cycle of brokenness or depression or bad luck or you know, just whatever that is for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we all, once you kind of put your all into something, like even in relationships, it's like once you put your all into something, it's hard to let it go.